in Podcast Detroit, recording live. Prepare yourself for a hoppy drive. If you're chilling at home, pop that growler and just kick back for the next 2 hours. It's the end of the week, so here's to the weekend. It's Better on Draft with Rob, Matt, Nick, and Ken.
We are live back in studio, episode 180. That's right. We came off of a couple weeks off. We had four episodes going on during that time frame. You can check them out over on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you can get podcasts, Breaker. Don't forget to leave us a review. We appreciate it very much. It helps us get our word out. But yeah, we had 4 episodes over at the World Expo of Beer between myself, Matt, Nick, and of course our writer Ed. We were able to do a lot of interviews with a lot of people we haven't had a chance to even talk to yet. So check that out. Episodes 178, 78.5, 179, and 179.5. Matt is in studio. Matt is about to sit down, and Matt is going to tell us what is in that glass that he has over there.
Right now we are drinking Shorts Local Light, and then I've got a Solid Gold right here. So I don't know if you guys can figure out what's to come a little bit later, but we're gonna have a little bit of fun drinking some beer.
A little bit of beer for sure. Rob, what's going on?
Too much.
I hear you. I had Monday, Tuesday, and Friday off this week, and the last 2 days I probably had a total of 3 or 4 phone calls. So it was a nice, easy week for me.
What's that like?
My
phone's ringing like 5 times since I've sat down.
It's really different now with my new position, which means usually I'm gone. Like I was gone for a whole week in Dallas, Texas. I legit saw my very first live wild snake in Texas, and it scared the shit out of me.
Did you shoot it with a gun?
I did not. I did not have a gun on premise, nor did the guy.
You're in Texas. They didn't just. I thought like you crossed the state line. They say, "Here's your gun."
Here's your gun.
That's not how it was welcomed by TSA over in the Dallas Fort Worth airport.
They need to fix that.
So the Uber doesn't just give you a gun when you land.
Well, I rented a car, so Hertz did not give me a gun.
Damn.
Hertz was a pain in the ass too. I was there
because you didn't get your gun.
I was there for a week. So yeah, I was talking to this guy. I wound up meeting a guy while playing disc golf. He was originally from Chicago, went to Michigan State, so Midwesterner, really nice. He lost a couple discs, so I wound up catching up to him, trying to help him find the disc. And we're like, both playing by ourselves. So we're just like, all right, we'll play as a duo. And I saw the snake, screamed holy shit, and jumped back as if it was the worst thing in the world. And the guy looks and he's like, whatever. As long as it's not like a tarantula or a spider, he was okay. That's what scared him.
I don't do snakes either, so I might have pooed a little bit if that would happen to me.
Was it a rattler?
It was brown, but it was also 95 outside. So he was going from shade to shade. He wasn't in the mood to mess with where I was standing, outside. We fast forward. I was walking over in Mayberry Park, which is over by South Lyon. This would have been this past weekend. And sure enough, I'm on the walk. I'm on just the regular trail. I look down just to make sure I'm not stepping on sticks or anything like that. Little snake walk right by me. I'm like, mother. And I almost said motherfucker. But there was kids and everything around me, and you have that consciousness of kids. So
wait, you have that? I don't have that consciousness. If you didn't know, I don't have that consciousness.
I always am.
I do not have that governor plate on my.
I'm well aware of my surroundings. So, at the disc golf course at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday where there was no kids. Yep. Screamed it right out loud. I had a 1 p.m. on a Sunday it was Monday because it was Memorial Day. At a park where there was a bunch of people barbecuing and having fun. Yeah, nope.
You clearly did not have time for any of those Monday through Friday planes.
Did you have a permit?
Snakes.
For the barbecue?
Wow. Nice little snakes on a plane FX version reference. Those monkey fighting snakes. Well, what are you drinking?
I am drinking from the Detroit Garage Project, the End of Everything, which I guess is pretty much very telling to the end of my life as a non-parent, because as of Tuesday, my wife and I have officially adopted a 14-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we have a daughter, Rosalie Arnisha Miller Everett.
That's
So-
one of those.
Cheers.
I was gonna say, that's a name for sure. That's
Oh, yeah.
that's one of those
The
like where
double
you
middle
get
name.
The double middle name.
Yes.
That's how it goes.
And another end of everything, the end of my brother's bachelorhood, because on the weekend of the 18th, he and his fiance got married. So definitely shout out to Eddie and Shelby Miller, who are probably listening in a little bit. I'm not sure if they're back from Chicago yet, but they were out there. But definitely a shout out to them and the end of their bachelorhood as well.
Well, we do have a guest in studio today, and we kind of want to branch out a little bit more into non-beer specific topics every once in a while, which is why I invited Andrew to come onto the show. Andrew, how you doing?
Good.
Why don't you mention who you work for? What do you do for them?
I am the head distiller at Rustic Crow Spirits, craft distillery located in Dearborn Heights on Telegraph, just north of Ford Road. And I'm kind of the mad scientist, they call me, jack of all trades. So I do all the production for all of our spirits, packaging, and then also get out into the field and spread the good word, get in to different stores, bars, restaurants. For people that haven't seen our location, given we are kind of a speakeasy location, Dearborn Heights, and we also have a restaurant in Detroit called Rustic Crow Detroit.
So the quick elevator pitch, what makes, Rusted Crow different than the other kind of nano distilleries that are kind of popping up both in Metro Detroit and, statewide?
Definitely we're the ones with the real unique packaging. Our owner, Joe Schiebel, went to CCS. So we wanted to design bottles and labels that stood out in the, the sea of, shelf when you go to a liquor store, something that really catches your eye. So everything is, created pretty much as like an art piece, something that's going to look really cool on your back bar, even once the bottle's, emptied. And a lot of people just want the bottle empty themselves, makes for a good gift, conversation piece. So it's definitely something, you're not going to see, and which is nice about the craft spirits industry is, it's not the normal packaging. There's a lot of, time and effort to make something, stand out, and, that catches everyone's attention. So my job is to make everything, taste good, while the owner is making it look good. So I'm the baker, and he's the cake decorator.
Now, how long does it take to produce a bottle or a batch of a spirit? I mean, it's typically 3 to 6 weeks with a beer, but it's a lot longer with spirits, right?
No, not necessarily. It's actually usually shorter. So the fastest product I can produce is our Murder Mint Moonshine. So from starting to mash, which is 100% corn, 1 day to mash. Then once I put the yeast in to ferment, it'll take about 4 days to ferment out, and it'll take me a day or two to still. We do it in 300-gallon batches. So as soon as I can get that all done, and I don't have to add any filtration extra steps before I put it in the bottle. So the only actually next time-consuming part is putting the labels on our bottle. So the front and back has to be peeled, vetted, and then hand applied. And then we also, create the jute string with the fishing waiter, and then apply that to the bottle.
Everything okay?
Yeah.
Just, random people banging on the front door like we owe them pizza money, but
Right.
don't know, so they can, call.
Not us, nobody we know. As we continue, why don't we crack open something?
Yeah.
Why don't you talk to us about what you're cracking open?
So we're going to crack open our Davy Jones rum. So this was recently voted best Michigan rum by Metro Times. So this is cane sugar and molasses fermentation. And then I finished it off with some vanilla just to kind of give it a little more rumminess.
Now, do you suggest we drink this straight or with mixers, or how?
I would definitely sip it once, kind of coat your tongue. That way you get your taste buds, ready to, open up and, explore everything that's in there. Then you can also, mix it with, Coke if you would like to. So mixing this with Coke turns into Villanova Coke. It's easy to, kind of sip. It's definitely not bitey like a larger, bigger brands, just because a lot of the impurities are roomed out in the distillation.
Well, yeah, we're gonna. Oh, this is just for me.
I was gonna.
I was gonna say let's split this.
I've got a little glass for me over here.
Rob, we're gonna split this just because I don't think either of us are gonna be drinking a fifth of Kool-Aid and
that
daring
is
us to drive.
Clear.
Oh, it definitely singes the nose hairs a little bit.
Yeah.
Now tell us about the artwork. I mean, you said art is just as big of a deal for you guys as the actual liquid itself. So, where did the name Davy Jones is from? I mean, obviously everyone knows who Davy Jones is. You know, he's a pirate. But
Yep. We got a little story on the back of the packaging. One of the legendary pirates. People, fall victim to him, and the owner wanted something nautical themed. He actually did the artist rendition of his wife. So his wife Tiffany is the mermaid on the bottle.
Nice job,
Yeah.
Davy Jones.
So it helps when you married a ginger to put on your product. But it's
Outkicked his coverage for sure.
right. It's a complete wraparound label. This is all drawn pretty much by hand on his computer, and then sent to our packaging to do the sticker.
So is it a day project to just label these?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it'll take me a whole day of just hand rolling the bottles on a machine. Thankfully, they came in a larger roll, so we only have one product where actually come printed, so everything else is hand applied.
Have we thought of a better process for that?
I would love that, but no, unfortunately, it goes to the handmade application. Everything is filled and then hand applied, heat shrinked, one bottle at a time. So eventually, as we scale up, I need to, grow 2 or 3 more arms and hands and multiply. But
I mean, the octopus has tentacles here. Maybe
Yeah.
you could try to get the octopus going.
I'm keep trying, but haven't got there.
So how big is your distro footprint in the area? Are you at a dozen places, or are you guys still growing?
Yeah, definitely growing. We opened in December 2014, so going on the 5th year. Major distribution in the big box stores is our vodka called Detroit Steam, our gin that is Gin Stash, and then recently Myers picked up our Ginger Devil, which is our spice whiskey.
Yeah,
You all right over there?
I am. So I have the problem where, and this is the reason why I don't drink whiskeys and bourbons like you guys do, is I drink all beverages the same, whether they're water, beer, or spirits. Had I known we were bringing on a spiriter, I might have Ubered. I should probably read our files a little bit better next time.
I was gonna say it's been in our calendar for a hot minute.
Yeah, no,
You should
definitely.
still know how to sip.
It never
It's-
like the thing is I'm like a fire hose. I'm either like 100% or 0%. So like
There's no trickle effect.
that level of finesse, that like 35 to 65 level, I just never adopted it. I was either fully in or fully out. So
You got to work on that then, because I mean this is good stuff, and you can't just waste your day pretty much just slamming one of these and just being a mistake.
as they the North say, YOLO.
Yeah. No,
But yeah,
no.
and it definitely has a good vanilla nose to it. Finishes pretty well. Minimal burn. Obviously, you splash with some ice. Chill it out a little bit.
Yeah, I think Rob's like free and clear now in his sinuses after.
A bit, but I mean, to me, it's like you said, a little burn. It's very, very little to me.
Yeah, it's very smooth. I mean, I don't know the last time I drank a spirit straight, period, and didn't have an issue. I mean, even when we had 2 James on, we were cutting everything because, that's when we discovered, Ruby Red Sprite is really good with gin. But I mean, this is fantastic. This is something you could, rocks glass, a couple ice cubes and sit.
Something you'd mix it with?
Are you asking me for a suggestion? Or
Yeah, I'm asking. What would you mix it with?
So I believe in 2 things. When you pair beer with food, you pair the color of the beer with the color of your food. And I think I would do the same thing with spirits. So this I would pair with a seltzer water, like a 7-Up, something of
Sprite.
a light, clear, kind of color. I don't know if I would mix this with a Coke because that would hide all of this essence.
You
And
could.
Cola is probably just going to completely overpower the flavor.
It definitely does get masked a little bit, but once you add Coke with the vanilla notes coming through, it turns the Coke into vanilla Coke. So
Sure.
I mean, it goes down.
But
really
most
good.
rums kind of do that by themselves,
Right.
But I appreciate this for it's just smooth flavor. Like I would say if you're going to pick this up, don't mix it. Whereas, if you're going to get, a Captain's and put your knee up like a Chacho, rum and Coke, do that. But this is a grown folk rum. This is a pour it, sit it, have a couple of sips of it,
Right.
go get another one. Don't.
I mean, I guess I'm always about experimentation, and I feel like I would just try throwing anything in here as I'm even looking at my can of Verner's, like I'm wondering.
I would say that, what would be
how it
really
kinda-
good with this is just a plain seltzer water. Just to cut through it, give it a little bit of bubbles,
Yeah.
but you still get all of the flavor of the rum. But you just get a different experience because it's got the
Right.
frothiness of the
I
seltzer.
think probably one of my other things is that really with a lot of spirits is that I like it neat. I don't like throwing ice in there. Like when I was making my whiskey and amarettos this past week, it was just straight whiskey, amaretto. I'm set. I don't need anything else to throw in there. So
that was the first thing I bought when I turned 21 was amaretto. Mr. Boston's.
Really?
Boston's amaretto from CVS.
What
The
CVS?
first thing you bought when you
Or it
turned
might have
20?
been Rite Aid.
Like I
The
still.
first thing I bought legally. How about we put it that way?
Well,
legally.
no, I understand what you were
The
going
$6
for.
amaretto that from the
Even for me,
pharmacy.
like I remember my very first beer at 21 was a Killian's. My first drink at 21 was a Killian's. Like I at that age had grown so sick of liquor because of course the liquor that I was buying was probably trash. And I was also probably buying not only trash, but drinking a lot of it as opposed to very little because that's what you do between the ages of 18 and 21 when you go to Michigan State or
Again,
Central.
you
or,
drink whatever you can get your hands on.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
I was drinking handles at 5 o'clock because I could get
Cheap volume.
volume.
With volume, yes.
And also,
Yeah, I will take
it would
that.
be a handle of 5 o'clock and a 2-liter jug of Kool-Aid. And that total would come to $10.99.
Perfect
And
mix.
you would choke for the first few sips of the drink, and then you would put enough Kool-Aid into it to where it would be,
Then eventually
enough.
the ratio is changing as the
Yeah, you
one
drink
hand's
more,
get-
like, 'cause you put as much of the 5 o'clock into the Kool-Aid as you can, and then you realize you put too much, and then you mix back in Kool-Aid.
Right.
What I've been doing, like since I've grown older, is that the more I drink liquor, the more I want to drink it without mixing.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind a mixed cocktail or a mixed drink, but I feel like I drink a lot slower now if I drink it straight. Because if I'm mixing this, like if I'm throwing this, in some type of like Diet Verner's or a Diet Sprite or a sugar-free Red Bull, like any of those items, I would just chug it as if
Yeah.
it was a beer.
Yeah.
And I think that's my problem, which is why I quit drinking alcohol for 6 years, I believe. I stopped drinking liquor for 6 years because I was drinking Russian Standard 100 like it was water because I was drowning it in Sprite Zero. And sure enough, when you finish the entire fifth by yourself, you're going to have a bad time.
Right.
I had a buddy at Central. He would drink a fifth of McMaster's. $8 for a fifth is the worst whiskey you could possibly get. And every time he did so, he would puke. And every time he puked, he would pop a blood vessel in his eye. So he would be white-eyed, red-eyed. And you would know, did you drink last night? How do you know? You
eye.
You get the Kano eye.
yeah, you got the red eye going. Oh, yeah.
No, and I mean, you're right about, because basically I put the Vernors in here and I basically just took one big sip and, it was good, but at the same time, I feel like with it being straight, I could have just enjoyed it longer and just sipped on it, maybe had a cigar with it.
How does one person become a distiller? Like, we live in the day and age, especially because there's so many beer shows out there that breweries are popping up, left and right. Like, I'm pretty sure one just opened tonight, and that's
Oh, yeah.
just an easy guess because
Right.
it's Michigan.
Right.
Distilleries,
You
especially.
said that with such regress, like such like pretentiousness and disdain in your voice.
Well, look,
like we
breweries
don't do a
have.
show about beer.
I mean,
True.
we do a show about beer, but there comes a time where there might be a little too much, and we need a break, which is why we bring on Andrew here. Like, how did you become a distiller? Like, what made you choose to be that?
Well, I used to be a night manager at a hotel, so I had plenty of time on my hands once everyone's checked in and sleeping. So just started researching anything I could get my hands on, watching a bunch of YouTube videos of people making moonshine, the backyard. So I did a little home brewing, kind of get the process, which is very similar to how we make our products. Once you get the fermentation, kind of basics out of the way. And then went to a conference, American Craft Spirits Association had a conference in Seattle, which is actually how I met the owner of Rusted Crow. Randomly, both went out there, didn't know each other, and struck up a conversation with two strangers waiting for a shuttle bus. And he told me about Rusted Crow Distillery opening up, which is real close to my house. And come to find out, he lived only a couple miles down from where I was. So it was, just kind of odd, bumping into a, future, owner without, him knowing much and I not knowing much either. So it was definitely a lot of trial and error. I tell everyone, after reading everything, watching Breaking Bad, I had an epiphany like Jerry Maguire. I'm like, I can do this, Instead of making meth, I'm just going to make booze. What's more, different?
I mean, if you order the right amount of chemicals, you can make whatever.
Exactly. Now that when I rewatch the show, I'm like, I know exactly what to do with that. So... But yeah,
don't cook meth, kids.
Right, not a good idea. But yeah, we've had plenty of screw ups. We said we are going to write a book on what not to do. But after doing a couple years, constantly learning, reaching out to other distillers who've been doing it longer than I have, able to get knowledge, answer questions. So basically, it's just a constant, ongoing learning position. So I kind of just lucked out, envy of a lot of people in the world to make and sell booze for a living.
So what kind of barrel program you have? Because typically whiskeys are going to go into a barrel for 3 to 5 years. You said you've been open for about 5 now.
Yep.
So do you have, these, do you have some whiskeys coming out
We
now?
do have our brown spirit lineup coming out. We're just waiting on our bottles and finishing products. So we'll have a bottle of the bond whiskey coming out, hopefully August, September. So it's going to be 4.5 years once it comes out, 100 proof. And then we'll have a rye whiskey release, which will be right around 4 years also. And then later, we got some wheat whiskey set aside, and then some 2-year straight bourbons. So we'll definitely be coming out with a brown spirit lineup later this year.
Nice.
What are you smoking the whiskey at all? Are you getting peat to do it, or what's...
Haven't done any single malts. Definitely on the experiment list. I'd love to do a single malt, a peated, an expression. Just haven't tinkered with it yet. Once we get kind of the brown spirits up and going, and then I definitely have the creativity, freedom to make whatever I want. So I definitely have some ideas.
So this is going to probably be a stupid question. So everyone listening at home that knows more about whiskey than me,
There are no stupid questions, just
stupid people
maths.
ask questions.
Stupid maths.
Could you make? I mean, and maybe that's where your moonshine comes in. Could you make a?
We should
shorter,
crack open that moonshine while he's asking that question.
Could you make a shorter turnaround on a whiskey? Because if you screw up a whiskey distillation and then you barrel it, you're going to wait 3 to 4 years to find out you fucked up somewhere.
Yeah, that's unfortunately one of the issues. Coming off the still, if we make a bad fermentation, the still usually will scrub out a lot of the flaws. Anything that doesn't get scrubbed out, we'll put in the wood and let Mother Nature, kind of filter everything out. So I had a batch of wheat whiskey that, fermentation, went a little longer, didn't get distilled fast enough. So I got a little funky, aromas and flavors, kind of smelled like butter popcorn. So high levels of diacetyl, which, brewers experience in, their batches. But, as it's been sitting in the barrel, that kind of flavor has been, just scrubbed out from, evaporation, angel share in the aging of the spirit, which I actually liked it. It's like going to a movie theater and get a bag of butter popcorn. You don't really smell that in a large-scale whiskey, much more, crafty. So it'll be interesting once it's finished out, how it, if that's gone, still there or not.
Yeah, I just you kind of have me kind of thunderstruck with the moonshine right now. So I'm just gonna say, please, sir, can I have
Yeah. So this is
a dash?
So what is moonshine exactly? Because my knowledge of moonshine is that TV show.
Do it.
Moonshiners
Yeah,
with popcorn.
yeah. Like that's about all, and it ain't much from that show.
Yeah, I left my overalls and I got all my teeth, so I don't know if I'm a technical moonshiner, given I'm not running from Johnny Law or making in the backwoods.
Oh,
So it's definitely a packs a punch. So this is 100% corn. So definitely it's got a hell of a aroma on it. This batch,
Yeah. Oh, I got some on my lip.
it sanitizes, everything it touches.
No, yeah, I think I'm going to take
don't
this to
mind.
softball, just so if I cut myself, I just wash out with some moonshine.
That shit's gonna hurt.
So the nose, definitely has that's 100% corn.
I'm getting another vanilla note here too, or do you think this is just because of the cup that it's in? From the,
It may be. A lot of people told
Actually,
me
I'm
this
get-
batch had like a little chocolatey notes to
I'm
it.
getting like a Dum Dums kind of smell, like you remember the Dum Dums? I mean, of course, the suckers.
What flavor?
Yeah. Well,
Like
like,
a-
the cream soda?
Kind of either like a almost like a faint root beer coconut kind of.
I guess I can see that.
I mean, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
This is just, I'm just scared to taste it. That's all.
All right, I took a pretty big swig.
Yeah, I think this is probably the first
Oh.
moonshine that I've ever had. I haven't sipped it yet.
It's
So
pretty. I mean, it's kind of for me. It's kind of the same. It's like the like little burn, just really smooth.
It's 100 proof, so it definitely packs a punch.
Yeah.
So that's the burn that you're definitely experiencing.
Do you
And there goes Ken.
down goes Kanashevsky?
Was that the nose or you were actually taking a sip?
Wrong
Dude,
pipe.
that was taking a sip. No, right down the right pipe. That was it burns, but it tastes like I just had
right
a
away.
giant scoop of cornflakes.
Yeah, like a bowl of cereal, doesn't it?
Yeah,
They're great, right?
Like it
No
literally, it tastes like a bowl of like just no milk or anything like that. Just straight cornflakes. Wow, it still burns in my throat too. I don't know if I could. Do people drink this straight or
So we have people,
We're drinking it straight.
yeah.
do normal people drink
shit,
this straight?
We
Well,
actually
so
have people.
there's not a bigger dichotomy than Rob and myself, and we're both drinking it straight. Like we if there's a Venn diagram of Rob and I, it's better on drink. That's what it else.
Is it because he can grow a beard and you can't?
Silence.
Is it because I can grow hair and you can't?
Oh,
Wow.
Aggressive.
You took more than 3 seconds on that. And-
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, cowboy.
Hey.
Yeah, you can drink this as an old fashioned. People drink it neat. I tell people, approach it like a bourbon. Essentially, this is a unaged bourbon. So bourbon has to be at least 51% corn. This is 100%. If I put it into a new oak barrel, it would hit all the classifications that bourbon would. So this is, basically what you get from drinking like a what do they call it? A rye dog.
So this is basically like virgin bourbon barrel.
Yeah.
Basically, you from still to pot right into the bottle.
Yep.
No
So
aging, none of that bullshit in between.
This is distilled once, so we call it a stripping run, where you're just pulling all the alcohol out of the distiller's beer, and then putting it right into a bottle. So if we threw it to the still again, it definitely would refine more of the product, but we're also losing a lot of flavor. So we want to keep it where it's got that punch of corn that you're tasting. So
Do you have a version that you distill a second, third time, or does all of your moonshine just go once and?
all the moonshine is all once. So
Okay.
just strip it out once, and then we separate in distillation. There's 3 parts that you're separating. Is the heads, which makes you go blind. A little bluish, tastes like put your tongue in a 9-volt battery. You don't want to drink that stuff. So that's what we keep, to clean the floors and everything like that. The hearts is the middle part, which is has all the flavor, which is what you're drinking, and then the tails is the more like watery, oily. So it's got a lot of flavor to it. But we definitely we can put that tails back into the still and redistill it and squeeze out more alcohol.
Have you thought about? And I was actually talking to Nick the brewer.
shout out to Nick the Brewer, Black Lotus.
He's actually on vacation up north, so I don't know if he's listening.
He's always on vacation. Look at his Instagram.
Have you
page.
thought about? I don't know if you would barrel it, but if you were to put the heart and the tail into a vessel and try to freeze the vessel to get some of the water out to concentrate.
Kind of they call it jacking.
Well, in the beer world, I think it's called icing.
Okay.
It's like ice filtering, but basically, it would keep the alcohol in it. It would get it would remove the water, and it would increase the ABV because of that process.
I haven't done that. So if you ever heard of a product called Applejack, jacking is called freeze distillation, where
Okay.
you're scraping off the ice from the alcohol. So I haven't done that process just because we don't have the equipment to do it.
Applejack just sounds like a pucker and like a
Like a shot.
Jack
and a
Daniels.
fireball shot.
Oh, I just
Am I wrong?
No, It's basically like brandy,
Yeah.
apple brandy.
Okay.
Just frozen and separated the water out of it. So, we haven't done that. I have thrown this into a barrel and created, whiskeys from it. Collaborated with a couple local breweries. So they'll give me a stout or a porter because that seems to have like a lot of the most flavors, not a bunch of hoppy notes to it. But, it'll marry pretty well with, a bowl of cornflakes. You put it in something malty and chocolatey and, now I get a bowl of Count Chocula.
I'm very happy. So that moonshine was just a little too much burn in my throat for drinking it, but mixing it up with the Diet Burners a little bit, I love the flavor of like ginger and corn. Like I don't think I've ever had such a flavor of a mixture before, but this little sip was perfect in regards to just cutting it because I could not drink that straight.
It'll put hair on your head.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
or not so much.
I even if it did, I don't think I could still do it.
Yeah.
No matter there's just nothing that I could do to
So I'm gonna
drink that.
guess that you don't just serve these straight at the establishment. So what kind of cocktails do you make
Why not?
from both the moonshine as well as?
The rum I would drink straight easy, but
Right, but I guess-
that moonshine maybe not.
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost like if you were to go to a brewery and you're going to say they already do that, and you had nothing but IPAs on tap, you would need to, you can't do that. So
Right.
I'm sure the moonshine, Rob and I are men, we can drink it straight, and even the
does
Davy
that
Jones, but to appeal to the mass audience,
Right.
you're going to want to put an umbrella in it, maybe
Yeah,
some
tiki
fruit or
it up
something
a
like
little
that.
bit.
So
With the
what are
moon,
what are some of your standards with the moonshine and the Davy Jones?
moonshine is fun because somebody actually said it reminds them kind of a tequila. So we turned into a margarita.
Disagree.
Yeah.
hard
Hard
no.
pass.
Hard no.
But yeah, we do a lot of different juices.
A murder mitten margarita.
Yep. So it even rolls off the tongue pretty well.
That sounds like Cabo Wabo. Kind of. That sounds like a Mexican issue.
And then with the rum, a lot of the tiki drinks, fresh juices, pineapple juice, ginger beer, works pretty well. And then also with our other spirits, different fuses. We do all of our own juices at the distillery for a tasty room. So it's fun to play around with our Grey Stash, the Earl Grey tea gin. Started out as our most popular cocktail, which we just added lemonade and a little honey syrup, and it turns into like a John Daly. So
I've got my eyes.
What's
on
a
it.
John Daly?
John Daly is
I know who he
Arnold
is.
Palmer with
Yeah.
vodka, right?
Arnold Palmer with booze.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Do you get your own cart when you drink?
yeah, I should.
All right. So what is this? Oh, this is the.
So we're gonna crack open the
ginger
Ginger
spice.
Devil, which is actually barrel aged murder mint moonshine with cinnamon and ginger. So you can see how we can turn it from one product to the other.
We're gonna get a new cup.
Yeah, freshie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pour a little bit more in there because Matt's cutting me short.
I'm cutting it even.
All right, so we do have a question while
Here,
we're
give this to
chatting
Rob.
from the
Just give me
chat room.
Give me a shot. In there. You know that one's right.
I read about the distillery in August 2018's Got Rum magazine and have been meaning to go over there since. So he wanted me to ask about the distillery, specifically the rum. So I think we talked a little bit about the rum.
Yeah, they
One of the
got
rums.
Rum magazine. I actually learned from the editor-in-chief, Luis, and his wife down at Moonshine University. So it was
There's a Moonshine University.
Yeah.
That sounds like Hooters University.
I mean, if you want, what better to learn how to make booze than going down to Kentucky? So it was a week-long course specialized on rum, fermentation, basically blending a lot of rums, and the masses is made with various finishing products, cinnamon, vanilla, caramel, which adds a lot of color and flavor. So it was fun to learn from people that have been making rum forever. And then I got interviewed for the Got Rum magazine. So it was fun to, kind of discuss, just like I am with you, about, the distillery, how we made everything, and then, our rum. So I do have a couple unique rums aged in stout barrels. So it'll be interesting once those kind of finish out taste. Everybody's putting beer in bourbon barrels. So I figured,
Yeah.
why not put booze into the beer barrel that had bourbon in it, go back with.
How many
age it.
times do you think you could reuse a barrel before it kind of like loses its luster, going back and forth between a barrel and a boozery? Like,
I'm on. I got one where it's kind of third time around. So
Okay.
I have a barrel that had blue corn bourbon in it, and then I gave it to Joe over at Liberty Street Brewery.
Hey,
And-
Joe. How's it
Joe.
going?
Yeah, he
Joe Dub.
he put his Imperial
This is fucking delicious. I'm sorry.
his Imperial stout.
Oh,
and,
the Starkweather?
Yeah, the Starkweather
Okay.
stout, and his what's his porter? The Imperial
Liberty Street Porter, isn't it?
Majestic.
Joe,
it's
you
the
gotta
it's
be
the big
listening.
one.
Chime
Yeah, I
in.
know.
Yeah,
I know
Jordan
he
is black.
he mentioned that I was gonna like the gin on Andrew's post over on Facebook, so I know we're gonna be probably getting there because I think segment 2 we'll do a back to back between Gray Stash and the non-tea gin itself.
This is amazing.
I haven't-
This
I
tastes
haven't
like
had it
Cinnamon
yet.
Toast Crunch.
I'm all about my cereal.
I was gonna say is
Am I
this
wrong,
just
Rob?
cereal?
Dude, if you tell me there's anything except Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I think you're on drugs.
What if he said French Toast Crunch?
I'd be okay with that.
So this is like
about
the adult Fireball. It's not with a bunch of sugar and sweetener.
Are you choking again, or are you
I'm
laughing?
laughing at what he said. Adult Fireball.
Right.
Oh, that tastes so good. Oh my god, I understand what you mean by adult Fireball now.
Yeah.
Like, I would love this chilled though.
Oh, yeah.
That's my only thing.
My
is-
apologies for
no, you're
not
fine.
chilling
No,
everything.
like, I guess that's why I would want an ice cube in it to to cut it just a smidge, but B, to keep it cold.
Yeah, if it's cold, this is the bottle you pass around, the bonfire, hang
This-
out by the pool.
Yeah, I would agree that I mean, on its definitely it is really good. I'm not sure about the cinnamon toast crunch, and for me, I think I need more cinnamon because
I think your sinuses are hitting you.
sinuses probably are, but when I'm baking and a recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, I'm usually throwing in 3 times that. I'm a little crazy with
that's-
cinnamon and vanilla. I'm a little nuts about, and I
think
love the
that's-
flavors of those.
That's a cultural
Now-
thing. That's us seasoning our food versus using.
That's
your
slightly
food.
racist, but I will continue.
No, because that's just factually wrong. We don't season food.
Salt and pepper seasoning.
But yeah, I would definitely say that I would want this. I want this chilled. I'm not sure about the ice, just because I always feel like when I throw water in spirits that it waters it down too much for me. So this would be one of those where I would just like
Throw
probably-
whiskey rocks in there.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
just throw whiskey rocks or maybe keep it in the fridge. That I'm not gonna be one of those crazy people and put it in the freezer.
One thing that I got in my Prevors were these ice orbs, to where they come 2 at a time, and it's a circular orb that ice freezes into a circle.
Yeah.
And you put it right into a rocks glass. The premise of that is it's just big, small enough to fit in the ice or into the rocks glass.
Right.
But it's big enough to where it always stays solid and doesn't melt. But anytime you tip the rock glass into your mouth, it goes through
Passing
the whisk.
through, it's like
so it gets it cold immediately,
Like a
but
luge shot.
it doesn't ruin it. So
Have you guys ever done a luge shot before?
I've done copious amounts of luge shots.
I've never done
I
it
have
before.
not.
That is a Central Michigan University. You basically walk, like right before you walk to get your diploma, you have to do a luge.
What are you like drinking on those? Just like Jaeger or
Whatever comes
Jaeger?
down this line.
Yeah,
man.
honestly, it's like, hey, do you want a luge? What do you got? Fuck it, I'm doing a luge. But yeah, usually some sort of cordial,
Yeah.
or I mean, it's never going to be just vodka because that's boring.
Right.
But Captain's was always flowing, pretty prevalent. Everybody loves Jaeger.
And then, as you pour more, it gets wider and wider, and it just ends up all over your face.
That's what she said.
I was gonna say, yeah,
damn
I've never experienced, like I was definitely a party gamer, flip cup, beer pong, all that, but like those types of things I could never do. I just never
It's-
wanted to do.
Same.
It's not hard. I mean, it's not difficult.
That's what she said.
It's just a shot going down ice.
I mean, I understand the premise of what a
Right, yeah.
luge is. What was did you guys want to make an adult Fireball when this idea came through, or?
Yeah, funny story about this. It was on our website. The owner loves to put, a million carts in front of horses. So we had LCA ask about this product. So that kind of went from the back burner to the front burner. So this is why, after I think it was 21, 27 different, trial and error flavors, and finally we tuned it in. So this is aged for 6 months with cinnamon ginger in the barrel. So the moonshine is actually aging and infusing in the oak, so it's taking off that sharpness from just being the raw spirit. And then we sweeten it up just with a little cinnamon syrup, just sweeten it up just a tad. But yeah, it definitely came out really well.
Hey, so when they say that Elches never develop anything, we've got Fireball whiskey.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's pretty damn good.
Tell Brian Gumble that, just so you know.
Gumble to Gumble. It's my favorite show.
We are going to be right back. Better on Draft Podcast.
1, 2, 3. Someone's been writing in my dream journal. I've just been floating like a sea turtle. 'Cause you poison the soil like Agent Orange. Yeah, you poison the soil. Now life feels boring, and you won't see me again. I am disappearing, friend. You won't see me again. I am disappearing, friend. Someone's been writing in my dream journal. I've just been floating like a sea turtle. 'Cause you poison the soil like Agent Orange. Yeah, you poison the soil. Now life is boring.
And that was Legume from the Ferndale set. Go check them out on YouTube, Facebook, and all of your other sets.
That's a bean.
Matt, we're live, so you might as well just talk because I have no idea what you're not
We have
saying.
an off-air comment to be discussed between you and myself. Well,
Okay.
not you and myself, but me covering our bases, if you will.
You got it. So we are back with Rusted Crow. Andrew's still here joining us. And I know for the second segment, I kind of wanted to do a back-to-back with the gins. So why don't you talk to us about the gin stash, the gray stash, how it kind of came about? Yeah.
Yep, the gin stash is our double gold award-winning gin, so it's definitely a more contemporary gin, not heavy on the juniper. We didn't like to be munching on pine cones, so we scaled that back to the minimum amount, and it's definitely got more citrus notes. So I describe it kind of like a starter gin. So a lot of people don't like the pininess. So just like how you're saying, you don't really like a hoppy beer. So this is definitely a more.
Ken doesn't like hoppy beer.
Yeah, it's approachable for the masses.
So what are some at the distillery itself? Like, what are some of the more well-known gin cocktails that people make with your gin stash?
One of the most popular is our crow stash. So we muddle cucumbers and blackberries and add some simple syrup. So the fruit and the cucumber kind of bring out some of the citrus notes to it. So it's definitely real approachable. But grapefruit juice goes great with this spirit. Even once you try it on the rocks, it's definitely pretty approachable.
Oh wait, did I get cut off from the circle?
No, I was going to hand you that one.
I was passing it
Oh,
around.
Go ahead.
I don't know if Rob wants to share that one. There. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna be napping at the studio before I leave. Oh,
You'll be all
Wait,
right.
do you guys, when you guys do drink gin, do you guys mix it with anything, or do you drink it straight?
Gin is my go-to. I get the quinine style club soda or tonic water. Apparently, one of them that has like 1 million carbs in it. One of them is super bad for you.
Like a gin or
No, the tonic water.
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't get why it's just water with like bubbles.
Yeah, but there's probably like an added sugar to it that they changed because
I
that's
don't
where they
know,
got the
Mr. Keto.
carbs. You said it, I didn't.
But yeah, you've been like itching to say it, so I feel like I gave you your crack pipe to hit.
Carbs.
No, with gin, I always mix it with some type of like lemon lime soda or a lemon lime mix, or even just like
lime's
lemon lime
crucial.
juice.
Lime's crucial for gin.
Tonic with all the hard seltzers coming out there. It's perfect to marry with that. You can kick it up a notch.
I will smash the hell out of hard seltzer.
That's why like I love Clear Coast or Truly is pretty much what I get when I can't find Clear Coast.
White Claw is better for you. It's better for your diet, rather.
I mean, none of them are. A lot of them are just 100 calories per 12 ounce.
Yeah,
so
but the White Claw Pure has absolutely 0 carbs.
I'll have to check it out for sure.
And that way you can put your own flavoring in it. Because sometimes, like, I like the black cherry, but having 6 of them. Again, I'm the one that's drinking 6 black cherry White Claws at the same time, so maybe it's a personal problem.
Maybe that is a problem.
Maybe we need to have
'cause,
Dr. Laura on the show
6
next.
of those?
Well, I've
heavy.
been moving to a lot of hard seltzers just because I drink it like I do beer, so I don't get in trouble if I drink like a mixed drink like liquor. Because there are times where I've come home after the show and I continue to drink, but I don't drink beer at home, so I'm drinking vodka, and I always have Sprite Zero, so vodka and Sprite Zero.
And the seltzers, you don't get that bloated feeling like you get from beer.
No, but you get fuller faster, definitely, with the seltzers, in my opinion.
I feel like I don't know. I drink seltzer water just, I always keep like a 12-pack of seltzer water in my fridge at all times. So having the spiked seltzer water is just changing up my daily routine. So maybe I don't know. I just feel like it's a cleaner, less groggy kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
So this gin is, it looks like 44%, so 88 proof.
Yep. So just a tad higher alcohol concentration. So definitely.
This gin's delicious.
It's real good. Sipper. Put a little ice into this one.
I mean, the only criticism I have on any of these is their room temperature.
Yeah.
Like,
they were baking in the sun as I was driving around. So.
If you would have given me this cold and that ginger devil cold, I might have kissed you, to be honest.
It's like I hear that a lot.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Well, you can definitely get a lot of them. They have they have a tasting room over in Detroit, correct?
Restaurant in Detroit and the tasting room's in Dearborn.
Restaurant in Detroit, tasting room is in Dearborn.
Where in Detroit is the is the restaurant?
It's Park and Adams, so it's a block west from Woodward and Grand Circus Park.
Okay. Are you at the main floor then, or are you?
Yeah, we're in the Kales building.
Okay.
So we're in the main floor. The opposite corner of Park Bar. Cliff Bell's is our neighbor.
Right by Hockey Town Cafe.
Yeah, right by Hockey
Where
Town
we are
Cafe.
all the time.
Yeah.
A couple blocks away. Man, I'm still kind of salty about the lack of cheese turnovers over at Park Bar.
You can you guys distro obviously to off premise, so you go to liquor stores too, correct?
Yep.
So you can get this at say Zatuna Liquor.
Yep. I'm
Over-
actually doing a promo with Jack tomorrow.
All right, so Zatuna Liquor over in Rochester Hills, just south of M59 on Rochester Road. Go say hi to Jack, and then make sure you're saying goodbye right away because he will talk your ear off, but we still love him. And tomorrow is June 1st, so if you are listening to this before June 1st, what time are you going to be there?
I'll be there from 1 o'clock to about 4 to 5 o'clock.
So if you're listening to this the second that I probably put it up, head over and you'll have a chance to try a lot of beers. But I'm sure you get around in regards to getting to different off-premise sites to do tastings and stuff.
Yeah, I try and schedule at least 1 or 2 every weekend, different markets. So I'm at Zatuna's tomorrow, and then I could be in Dearborn. Trying to stay within a half an hour drive radius. So where to be grocery stores, liquor stores. Try to be a little there everywhere.
I'll give you a lead on the east side off the air. But you know what else you can get at Zatuna Liquor?
It's a Boy Cigars.
No, My Beer Box. You can sign up to subscribe to My Beer Box at Zatuna Liquor.
I heard you lowered the price.
We did. We dropped the price 20% up through Father's Day. So instead of $30 a T-shirt box, you're going to be $25 a box. And instead of the $50 all-in box that comes with T-shirt and glassware, it's only gonna be $40.
Wow.
So
And
hurry
that's
up.
mibeerbox.com.
My Beer Box on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We actually don't really have a Twitter because it doesn't work. They keep giving us My Beer Box and then a number after that. We're also going to be putting some premium memes up today. Like today, we put up the LeBron J.R. Smith meme that said,
I saw that.
"Hey,"
That was
and it
amazing.
was "Buy me my beer box."
That was pretty good. That was pretty
We have some other great memes that are coming up for, but Father's Day is going to be crucial. You're the reason why your dad drinks. So buy him a comfy T-shirt and send him on a vacation, and he'll probably take your mom or his girlfriend, and they could use a vacation. So, mibeerbox.com, and there's discounts already for 3 or 6 month subscriptions. So if you make him drink a lot, you can buy him a pretty big discount for.
You can help him continue his
Exactly.
Continue
his
drinking.
drinking for sure. So what made you guys want to add green tea to gin?
We added Earl Grey tea. Actually, it was at another establishment, and they were doing in-house infusions. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I did it with ours, and it just kind of turned into a cocktail we put on our menu.
Did they just put like a tea bag inside?
Yeah,
or-
we actually steeped three tea bags into a bottle of gin for a couple hours, and this is what gives it the color and flavor. So it was actually a pretty easy spirit. So it's post distillation, so it has nothing to do with fermentation or distilling of the product.
Does tea have natural sugars in it?
I don't believe
No.
so.
So it wouldn't really change much if you did it.
No, the only
During
sugar you're going to
distillation,
get is
right?
from the alcohol
Yeah.
itself.
Well, I mean, those leaves, I would imagine there might be a little bit of botanicals that might have.
I mean, for most teas, like in regards to doing the research for my diet, like most teas don't have any carbs at all, let alone most teas barely have any calories at all. So you're not going to get anything. I'm still sipping on this gin. I'll have that in a second.
I'll be honest. I want more of this ginger devil.
There's,
I need you to not look.
think
I'm gonna
there's
take the
still,
whole bottle with me.
We're
there's-
going to
there's
do
still
like
left.
a king cup and just pour everything in the middle. And
Don't you dare. I still have to work tomorrow at 11 tomorrow.
Why does it sound? Isn't that the 52 card game?
No,
Yeah.
King Cup is Presidents and Assholes.
No, it was a waterfall.
Waterfall. That's it. Yeah, I'm like. It was like a 52 card game. I don't know. It's probably in Presidents and Assholes. I'm sure you can make a
Well,
rule
I mean,
about
you make
it.
the asshole drink
Yeah.
the King Cup.
Yeah, there you go.
It just sounds
That's an evil game.
Presidents and Assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to play it like when I was like in my early teens, like 13, 14,
Oh, no,
15.
I love that game. I played
But
that to this day.
obviously it was, childish antics as opposed
It's fun to bury,
alcoholic
bury the
antics.
friend, but you can get revenge.
Well, I loved playing Presidents and Assholes because the rule I would always implement is you can't say any derivative of the word drink. So drink, or drunk would be if you say it, you have to drink. So when when anybody like pulls a
It's a
card like the
drink.
drink,
Yeah.
everyone would point and say, "Oh, drink," and be like, "No, you
drink."
fuckers also have to consume as well." So then everyone would be quickly screaming, "Consume!"
Yeah, I was gonna go with gulp or sip, but consume works. Yeah,
The other one works.
Chug.
Imbibe.
imbibe.
Imbibe. The other big is the little man on the
I was going to
on
say
the can.
that's real annoying.
You got to take the little man
And
off
off
of it,
to
drink,
drink
and then you put it back on.
Yeah, I definitely remember that rule, but I never liked.
And then they had the mother may I rule too. If you drink without asking mother may I.
I feel like you were just a giant asshole in this game.
You know, that was like my element, like making rules, drinking beer,
Right.
acting cool. Come on, I mean,
Yeah, I
20
still feel the same sentence exists.
that's why nobody wants to hang out anymore.
They just don't want to play drinking games with you.
Right.
What lightweights? All right, so hold on. What did you?
This is the gray stash.
I would say I need some of that because I handed off to.
Oh, I thought you. Oh,
No, I was handing that one off to you just to pass it down, and plus there was so little of it because you were complaining about how tall your
did-
pores were.
are the tours?
The tours.
Yep.
Chat.
Yep.
Yep.
So we do have a question from the chat. Do you know any other distilleries in Michigan that use molasses? He says most he has encountered use turbinado sugar. Did I say that right?
Right. Not too sure how many other distilleries are producing rum from molasses. So rum can only be created from cane sugar or molasses. So I'm not too sure. I do know New Holland has a rum. I believe there's a couple up north are doing rum in Traverse City. as far as what they're basing their product from. I'm not too sure.
Is there a Michigan distillery group, like a guild or a group of like all of the distilleries get together to chat about the industry?
Yeah, there's a Michigan Distillers Guild. So we actually just had a meeting last week before an event at Easter Market. So we were at DCD. So talk about laws that are going to be passed, things that are in works to kind of minimize taxes. Talk about the industry growth as a whole. So little brainstorming.
Not tax tariff or that kind of in that kind of respect for laws, but are there any laws or rules that you would like to see changed within the state of Michigan?
Ultimately, we're trying to get parity in the overall beverage industry because liquor is taxed so much harder than beer and wine. So it'd be nice if we were somewhere close to what they're getting taxed. So our markup is like 65%.
Holy shit.
Yeah, compared to beer and wine. So we were just like an even playing field.
Do you think so? There are 14 distilleries in the state of Michigan. I think
There's more than that.
There's a shitload more than that now.
'Cause
Yeah.
I thought. I mean, well, I guess there's even if there's 50, right? There's almost 400 breweries.
Right.
So what do you think is preventing more distilleries? It seems like a brew pub. Every town and city has, like we talked about. The brew pub is the new dive bar. Everybody's got their corner brew pub to go to.
One in every city now.
And they're all strictly beer. So why is there not a distillery on every corner?
It's definitely, the trend is getting there because in Michigan there's 3 different pockets. You got, Metro Detroit, DCD, 2 James, Valentine, and then, we're kind of in the area just outside of, Detroit, and then the Grand Rapids folks, Long Road, New Holland, and then you go up to Traverse City, and then there's a cluster kind of up in there. But actually, there's a couple of distilleries just opened up in the UP. So they're definitely expanding in
What
different
else
markets.
is there to do up there?
Yeah, right. Make booze, freeze
Make
your butt
booze.
off.
Right.
I mean,
Make booze, drink booze.
I think it's going
have babies.
to snow tomorrow.
I did have.
I wrong?
I was over on the west side of the state. I had Gray Skies for the first time.
Yeah, my
And
buddy Brandon runs that.
I tell you what, I'm always appreciative of so they weren't open. The tasting room wasn't open. They were just cleaning. I walked in, the door was open. I didn't realize that they weren't open.
Yeah.
Walked in, and I'm like, oh, crap, I just wanted a bottle to go. And they said, all right, what do you want? And the guy that was working is like, oh, this isn't my position here. So I got to see if I can find someone to cash you out because I don't know how to work the POS system.
Right.
But I think I've kind of seen that as a really nice thing within the alcohol industry. Because as much as, sure, you're selling a bottle, like when my dad went to Nickelbrook and they were closed, and the guy that came forward was just a cellarman, he's like, hey, we're closed. And he's like, well, I'm not going to be in town. You think I can buy some beer to go? And he's like, I think we can figure it out together.
Yeah.
And, mind you, my dad showed up like 3 hours before they opened. But, I think when he was willing to spend like $100 some odd. So if you're going to make $100 before you open, why not start the day with a nice positive?
Definitely.
With the tea, like, do you think that the Gray Stash stands alone as a good sipping gin, or do you think it's better mixed together with something else?
Definitely, I think it's a good standalone. I mean, it's more like you're sipping a Long Island iced tea. So it's real scary.
It's no joke.
I mean, this is the one that you could take to a barbecue. Everyone kind of appreciate it.
There's a pepper flavor in there that kicked me in the fucking uvula.
Yeah, he was done. It was pretty
I tried
much.
one.
He tried
it. Was good. The second one, like, I get a pepper note from the tea, and I love straight gin. That one, there's just a flavor note to that I respect. It comes out perfectly. So if you love it, if you like flavored spirits, this is right up your alley.
Well,
But
what's your go-to gin when you go to a bar, Matt? Like, do you just go with Bombay or whatever the well is?
At the liquor store, it's Seagram's because I drink it and they pay me for it, as P.D. Pablo once said.
I mean, people do have the cups, but they ain't chipped in. So I mean, you got to make sure of that shit.
Honestly, it's either a Hendrix or a Tanqueray.
Okay.
Like, I know everybody hates on Tanqueray. Tanqueray is the Bell's of, or the Bud Light of gin.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
you either like across the pond gin like Bombay, Tanqueray, super piney. Hendrix, are just similar. They have the big cucumber, taste.
To be honest, if you were to put 5 gins in front of me, I wouldn't know the difference between them. I just drink gin because it's lower calorically, and it's a smoother
Well, I mean, calories is simply, for the most part, based on how much the ABV is.
Not necessarily.
Your standard, shot of 80 proof liquor is going to be about 100 calories per. The only thing that's really, mind you, I've done a lot of research on this
Because
I'm keto.
There it is.
One
Damn it, Matt.
of one of the
That's one.
lesser caloric alcohols is Captain Morgan, and that's because it is a lower ABV rum than the rest of standard rums, like a 40 or 80 proof rum. So really, if you wanted to find out how much your calories are, unless it's a liqueur or something that has additional flavors, it's going to be near one and a quarter times the ABV. That's what the
I guess
calorie is going to be.
my story earlier where I just keep pouring it until I taste it again doesn't really help my argument. But gin on a general basis has less calories than a vodka, which is usually the
Which is generally, can't be really true because gin is just flavored vodka.
so bam.
Say I'm getting that pepperiness on here as well, though opposite to Matt, that I am enjoying it. It's actually, to me, it comes off like a smokier version of 2 James Johnny Smoking Gun.
But that's
And
a gin, and it shouldn't. 'Cause
I know, but
yours is a whiskey.
right, but I mean, even if them being 2 different liquors, I would rather go on this side with this rather than Johnny Smoking Gun.
My thought is, I want my gins crisp and botanical. The pepper just kind of throws me off. It's like, for you, it's like country time lemonade. It just doesn't belong.
Yeah, Leinenkugel, Summer Shandy, for the loss. Get rid of that shit.
The bergamot oils cover up the juniper, so this is why it kind of is more approachable, even more so than the gin stash, just because people don't like that pininess. You don't really taste any pininess to this. You taste little peppery notes to it. But yeah, you dilute it with a little lemonade. It's delicious.
I'm curious about, or sorry.
I was going to say, I don't think it's bad. It just, the way it hit my palate just didn't,
How do you guys decide on liquor when you guys are going? Now, mind you, we have great distilleries around the area, especially with Rusted Crow, 2 James, who's been another guest. We have all of these choices. How do you choose a liquor when you're making not even necessarily a craft cocktail, but a 1-in-1? Because for me, I don't even bother with anything more than just because I feel like whatever I'm mixing it with is just going to hide whatever taste, the goodness or the badness of whatever the liquor is. How do you guys Andrew, how do you approach a bar that, say we're in California, so they don't have Rusted Crow there?
Right. If I'm going out of town, for a conference or vacation, I instantly ask for, what's local, because I want to see, what's the local kind of, Rusted Crow, what they're doing that's unique. I was just in Fort Myers, and I went to the liquor store. And I was like, "You have any local rums?" Because obviously Florida, they're going to be making a bunch of different
you would hope
rums.
so anyways,
Definitely.
Right. So I picked up a bottle of a local distillery, had a lot of apple notes to it. So it's always fun to try what other people are doing.
Do you have a favorite that you kind of like? For us, there's distro issues in regards to beer where we can't get beer. So we're like, if anyone goes to this area, like for me, I'm so excited, I'm so scared, Funky Buddha.
Right.
Like if anyone is in Florida, I'm like, go pick it up. Like, is there a bottle like that you've had where you just wish you could have more of?
There's a lot of things out in the West Coast. They actually have a distro out here, Westland Distillery. They're making awesome single malt Scotch.
Westland, Michigan?
Yeah,
No.
Basically, yeah. But no, it's just ironic that we have one here.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that are making spirits from rice, all different different barleys. So it's unique. Everywhere you go, somebody's trying to do something different. So I always appreciate that. I mean, the distillery that makes aviation gin that Ryan Reynolds just purchases in Portland, Oregon.
Avion?
Yeah, they started out real small, and the bottle ended up on Deadpool set, and all of a sudden he was like, "Hey, I like this." Yeah,
But you know what else? They sold out to Mike's Hard Lemonade too. If you watch the first Deadpool, when he goes to actually find out who's in the Deadpool. Why do we say Deadpool? Deadpool?
I don't know why he said that.
The pool of the dead, the dead pool.
The cooler behind TJ Miller, the bartender, it's all Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Okay.
I don't think anybody ever noticed that.
I didn't notice that.
I didn't, but now I don't want to have to go home and watch.
When you
Deadpool
watch
real
it, like
quick.
TJ Miller's like, he's like, who's on the Deadpool today? And you get a picture of TJ Miller or the video of, and it's literally Mike stacked like every shelf of the cooler,
Oh, good Lord.
which kind of makes me kind of mad that I quit the beer game right before because we sold Mike's. How much cool, Deadpool shit I could have gotten. Because that's like the only superhero that and Batman are my two superheroes.
What do you think of Robert Pattinson
Yeah, I
as
was gonna ask.
Batman?
He's,
Remember what everyone said about Heath Ledger as Joker?
but you know what? I said the same thing about Ben Affleck as Batman that I will say about Robert Pattinson. It could be because it's going to be a completely different universe, right? It's going to be like the Amazing Spider-Man versus Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
It's going to be Batman, but I don't think there's going to be any origin or anything
Honestly,
like that.
you know what
I
I'm
think
excited about is the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix.
That looks good.
I will be first in line to see that.
I think with all of them, it's just pretty much you really can't say shit until you actually see it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can talk Twilight all fucking day, but
Yeah,
you
but I
don't-
mean,
you
Heath
don't
Ledger,
know-
everyone was talking about 10 Things I Hate About You.
yeah, exactly.
No, A Knight's Tale, which actually
That's a damn good movie.
Yeah, you actually who I would have picked right now to be the best Batman. I heard on the radio, the funniest Batman would have been Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage.
But the best
I
Batman,
mean, they might as well just make Lego Batman right there.
it is like
I mean, he would
that's-
cross
hey,
over.
That's heightest.
He'd cross over from Marvel to DC.
But-
Yeah.
The best Batman would be Kit Harington, Jon fucking Snow to Batman.
He's got
Well-
a drinking problem, so I mean, he could fit the bill.
It's
But, I mean, he looks like a Batman.
depends. It
Dark
depends. It
hair.
depends. If obviously he, pull off some sort of accent that would work.
Well, I mean, Christian Bale's Welsh, so I mean,
True,
pulled
and
off
he
the
did. He
accent.
did. He did a good
Well,
job
isn't
until.
Spider-Man's English, and the guy
Yeah.
from
Andrew Garfield was English too.
Rick
yeah.
Grimes, the guy that plays Rick Grimes, is
Yeah.
English.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about? Fuck, I just lost my whole train of thought.
They wanted to have Danny DeVito as Wolverine for a day.
I saw the little petition thing.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Good Lord.
I mean, he technically would have crossed because he's DC, the Penguin, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Wolverine
But honestly,
is
I
Marvel.
think, are we like? I was a stickler for you can't be this two characters in the same universe. Ryan Reynolds did that.
Well, he was Green Lantern.
Exactly.
Green
So
Lantern
he,
and
That's DC.
Deadpool.
yeah, you can't be two. You have to be one or the other. You have to be.
Well, yeah, Green Lantern's DC versus
but
Deadpool, which is
so
Marvel.
I'm not a comic book guy, so if you're going to be a superhero, you have like Hugh
You can't be
Jackman couldn't be.
multiple
Hugh Jackman
superheroes.
couldn't be Batman.
No.
Okay, because he's fucking Wolverine.
Right.
So like, unless like
mean,
Bruce Wayne's got some weird
ugh.
shit going on, like.
So you don't think Will Smith could ever be in a Marvel movie because he's Deadshot, even though he's been recast?
Nobody saw that movie, so everyone could be. Actually, I was going to ask. So I heard, for people still listening, Daniel Craig broke his ankle. So they've delayed.
He didn't. From what I heard, he didn't break it. He definitely injured it.
So
Can he cast a spell?
who's
and just fix
the next James
I think
Bond?
you're thinking Daniel Radcliffe.
that? Yeah, my bad.
So-
too many shots.
James Bond. I dig the Idris Elba as James Bond. I really dig it.
I could see that.
I've also heard Anne Hathaway as James Bond. Because woman James Bond, but like
Well, I mean, in regards to there are no rules in the James Bond franchise as there are in say like Marvel. Like Stan Lee, there's a lot of rules in regards to Spider-Man.
he's dead, so
That's true, but his estate owns the rights to all of those and all those characters and stuff. You can't just be like, well, he's dead. I can't do anything about
you know
it.
who'd be a great James Bond is Ryan Reynolds would be a great James Bond.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds can be serious, Amityville Horror,
Or Ben Affleck, 'cause-
or
but he's
Bar-
he fucked it up in
Buried.
Buried.
That was another one. Did you guys ever see Buried? By the way, the Ryan Reynolds Buried Alive movie.
I never saw it. I was definitely interested in seeing it, but I never saw it.
I've seen almost
If that movie
Justin
costs
Timberlake-
more than $100 to make,
Justin
Blair
Timberlake
Witch
as
budget.
James Bond.
yeah, I could see like no, I think they need to Americanize Justin Timberlake or James
You
Bond.
mean English, James? Or
No, Americanize
I
like
don't think
and a
No. No, 'cause,
I
I mean, there's
couldn't
too many
see.
people who always say that the British accent is the sexiest accent in the world, except
No,
for
it's-
apparently
it's
everybody in the
Boston,
U.S. who says that people in Boston have the sexiest accent.
Hey,
which-
Ted said the opposite.
I-
Ted said it's the worst accent.
Yeah, I don't know. I certainly don't understand that.
How did we get into this topic again?
I hijacked this.
I don't know.
Actually,
We're going into characters being in other universes.
I'm redrawing it. The best next James Bond would be Jason Statham.
Jason Statham. would be a good
English?
one.
Past his prime.
I'd see Jay. No, not at
Yeah.
all.
But Pierce Brosnan was past the prime when he was at the best of Bond. So was Sean Connery. Jason Statham, because the issue was like Daniel Craig, he was blonde. All the other previous Bonds had been brunettes. Jason Statham, no hair.
Gray stash.
Yeah, no.
Jason Statham, because I just saw The Meg.
I haven't seen the Meg yet. I heard good things about it.
It was weird to see Dwight in something else. It's just like Will Smith will always be the Fresh Prince.
There you go. There's your new Bond.
But now he's the genie.
Will Smith.
It was a good movie.
I will never see the movie.
Really?
I will go see Lion King.
They did a really good job.
James Earl Jones is always Mufasa.
First
Damn
of all,
right.
I didn't want to see Aladdin to begin with, and then you can't take Robin Williams and anything.
And he didn't.
That was Robin Williams' role.
It
I
was,
mean,
but he did not. He reinvented the role of the genie to not replace the genie.
There is no
Like,
way anybody.
The
could
guy who
replace
played
that.
Aladdin, the guy who played Jasmine, girl who played Jasmine, the guy who played Jafar. It was really true, one for one almost. But when they came to the genie, they definitely changed it a little bit more. They kept the comic timing, which Will Smith has good comic timing.
Yeah, no, he's an amazing actor.
But they didn't make it to Robin Williams style of humor.
Right.
So they
Boldness.
made instead of poppy music Robin Williams did,
it
it was
Wiki
a
Wow,
little
Wild
more
West?
a little more hip hop, a little bit more rap. Yeah.
Wiki Wow,
So
Wiki Wow.
it again you've got a friend in me, wrong movie. It's close to that, isn't it? It's never had a friend like me. So
like a Taylor Swift
that
song,
song
too.
itself and Prince Ali, the intro into the when he goes to meet
That
Jasmine
movie's
Esther.
just so looking back, so racist.
I mean, stereotypical might be the better word.
Well, yes,
Right.
you're right. Yeah.
I don't think there
mean,
was
it
too
was-
many negative connotations
It
in
was
that
no.
movie.
It was
to
no
be-
short circuit. I'll just put it that way.
Jesus Christ.
But was
All right.
was it better than Jake Gyllenhaal in Prince of Persia?
I mean, yeah.
Have you seen Prince of Persia?
No comment.
We can go through quite a few, but we don't need any.
We're gonna take a break, guys. We are gonna come
Segment
back.
three
We have
for
a
beer
segment
drinking.
3 with Matt.
Take like a wrecking ball, breaking down my wooden doors. Ooh. Slow down. Slow down. So hold me closely and don't let me go. And tell me all your secrets to keep. Your restless heart, gypsy soul, it's running like the man. Your crazy love like a wrecking ball, breaking down my wooden doors. Slow down. Slow down.
And we are back. Better on Draft podcast 180. You know what that means, right?
We're gonna go
We're gonna
worse on draft because
spin
we're
half
doing a
of-
180.
I mean, sure, that was pretty good. By the end of this year, I think we'll be at or near 200.
Well, we have to be, right? It's only 20 weeks.
That's 20 weeks. That's
We
yeah.
do
By
take
the end of
weeks
the
off now, right?
by the end of the year, well, I mean, we're still doing shows. We're just doing our road shows. Like we have our upcoming road show at Brewery 424.
Number.
We're buying a keg of beer and giving it away.
Where else are we going to be that weekend?
I don't know yet. I don't know if we're going to be doing anything too crazy that weekend.
No distillery. Up there?
We might go for fun. I
Oh,
mean,
so I thought
we
we
can
were
go
gonna
as
do
a beercation.
I thought we were doing a.
I thought we
double
were
weekend.
too, but
No, not so much?
I'm just not in the mood. I think it's just
I would highly recommend, if you do get the time, to do the brewery tour at
you
New
not coming?
Holland. No, because
he's got a 14-year-old to take care of now.
Yeah, I have a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old, and probably by that time I might have a 12-year-old
and
as
a
well.
wife.
So we'll see, as well as my
Are
wife.
you the only one with an X chromosome?
Yes, I am.
God damn. Well, or a Y chromosome, rather.
I mean, my thing is that actually, I think right now I'm actually happy about that. I'm not sure about having boys in the house, and because I mean, as you know, the joke basically says is that girls will fuck with your mind, boys will just fuck shit up. So I think I would rather just have my mind fucked up than actually have my personal possessions broken.
Okay.
I was always in the
That's
told,
what therapy's for.
Boys in the hood are always hard.
Yeah.
If you talk their trash, they'll tow your car.
Knowing nothing in life but to be legit.
Don't
Let's
quote
drink
me,
some beer
but-
and talk some shit.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
so what we're going to do today.
That was actually pretty good. I'm kind of proud of myself for that one.
Yeah, it was bad. Not bad. Not bad.
So typically in the summertime, you want to drink lighter beers, right?
Typically.
Everybody loves the sunshine.
So what I did was I pulled the 3 big macro breweries from Michigan, and I got their lagers. So I have
From Michigan.
a Bell's lager, I have a Shorts lager, I have a Founder's lager, and I have a mystery lager in here that's under this brown bag.
You didn't get an Atwater lager? I think Atwater is
Well, the thing is, I only had 4 named glasses, so I could only bring 3 and then 1. So the idea is we're going to drink all of these, rate them, let's say 1 to 5, pick a favorite, because the last time we did this was with macros. We did Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light. Now we're going to do Shorts Light, Bell's Light, Founder's Light, and we're going to see if the mystery macro is better than one of them to our blind taste buds.
Oh, geez.
For the record, I don't sanction this shit.
So
Pepsi
beer number
challenge.
1 is here's
Everybody at
what-
BCP know what I'm talking about.
So, Ken, I'm going to need you to drink today. Go ahead and take a cup. Give Ken one, and then I'll give Rob one. Pour enough for yourself to get a good taste of the lager. Again, it's a lager, so it's not going to be
Taste the bubbles.
yeah, it's not going to have a whole lot of flavor to it. It's just going to be the
Champagne
cleanness,
of
the crispness. Give us some tasting notes and some thoughts on it, and tell us what you think. So number 1, we're just going to call blank. I know what is what. You don't. So have a sip. Tell me what you think. Rob, you took the first sip. I mean, you're going to all taste everything the same because of your little congestion, but
Dish soap.
Dish soap.
Straight up dish soap.
Andrew,
Straight
do you
up
have
dust. So is
anything-
this Natty Daddy?
Do you have? I almost picked up a Natty Daddy, by the way, so you're lucky. Andrew, do you have any better flavors coming off than dish soap?
I mean, this is basically me cleaning my water bottle and not rinsing it well enough.
It tastes to me crisp, clean, and with a little bit of beer flavor.
Tastes like barley water to me.
Okay, Ken.
Tastes like beer.
So, out
Doesn't
of
taste like City Club, but it tastes like beer.
PBR tastes like beer. I don't
first of
know what
all,
the fuck this is.
I also knew you were going to say that, so there's no City Club in here. I did this on purpose to not.
So
bring
it's not Budweiser. Budweiser has a distinct taste of depression, hate my mother, and goth music.
But Patty, I love Patty.
Well, that's what City Club tastes like.
All right, so Ken, out of let's say 5 bottle caps, right? Because we're untapped people. That's what they give it up.
No, we're not.
How about out of
Out of
a
five-
6-pack of beer?
out of a s-
out of a 6-pack, 1 to 6, what would you give this beer,
I'd give it a 2.
Andrew?
Yeah, I'm 2.
2.
I mean, it's drinkable, but I get no flavor in it.
Can I not go under 1?
Yeah, it's 1 to 2. It's 1 to 6.
1.
All right, so we have 5. So that's like I think it's a 1.6.
I've got all the numbers here for you, Matt.
Oh, I'm doing the same.
Yeah,
All
don't
right,
worry.
so beer number 2,
I have it in a nice spreadsheet so I can read off everything you need. Oh,
Ken.
shit.
Beer number 2. Do you want new cups for this, or do you think
I think it'll be fine.
flavor on flavor? Okay.
Yeah, I think
Beer number 2.
Hopefully, it
Is-
adds some flavor.
Oh, you're gonna give me 6, so we're just gonna not drink that. Beer number 2 is also potentially a macro lager or potentially a mystery beer. Have a sip. Tell me if it strikes you or not, and if there's any definite flavors from it.
I feel like I want to re-rank everything now.
So,
At least the foam in the head
Is-
has more of an aroma to it.
is this a better or worse beer than the beer you just drank?
It's about the same. Like, I ain't getting much difference in regards
They're
to the
lagers,
beers.
so the premise is they need to be cool, crisp.
Yeah, I mean,
crushable.
cool, crisp,
We're
crushable.
not looking for like flavoring or complexity. We're looking for perfectness. So, Rob, do you taste anything except dish soap in this one? Do you get like less or more dish soapy?
You know what it's like when you overuse a sponge and it still has that mustiness to it and it just carries over to shit?
No, because I'm not a cheap ass.
Yeah,
Now
I don't buy dollar sponges.
that's pretty much there with the dish soap.
So is this beer better or worse than the first one you drank?
This is worse.
Okay.
So I'll just put a 1 for you.
This one, I'd say slightly better. Definitely get a little more hoppier notes to this one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going just slightly better. I'm going with a 3 out of 6.
I mean, you could do like a 2 1/4 if you have to. but
No.
so
It's like drinking the first one in the gym, in the bathroom of Planet Fitness.
there's a bathroom at Planet Fitness.
that's what a locker room is.
That's
So
what I meant was a locker
You're
room.
sticking with the number 1 with
Oh,
the 1.
yeah, fuck yeah.
Are you-
I'm sticking with solid numbers and saying 3.
2.
So we have I think we have a 2 right there. All right, let's do beer 3.
Oh shit.
Beer 3. I also brought the flashy named stemware so you could see the color of the beer, so you could also judge it on that character because again, a lager is supposed to be
Straw-like, golden.
translucent, see right through it,
Pour on your pants.
flavorish. Pour it on your pants. Give you some pissy pants notes.
Hey, you ain't cool unless you pee your
I'm
pants.
Miles Davis, bitch.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Well, that's fine. I'll drink the rest of this gladly.
I'm saving some of the liquor for.
So beer number
the
3,
end.
we're gonna start. Everyone's had a sip at this point.
Not yet.
Yeah. No.
Rob, I need you to really man up on this one.
Yeah, I'm trying to get myself to do that right now.
I like it.
This one's a little better.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is definitely crushable. This is definitely easier to drink.
This is like perfect for beer pong.
Okay.
I mean, every beer is perfect for beer pong as long as it has alcohol.
Actually, anything liquor's better, good for beer pong. Rob, do you have anything flavors that are not dish soap on this one?
This is solid gold, and fuck you for giving that to me.
So is that good or bad? Well, like out of a 6-pack of beers, what would you rank this?
1.
Okay, you're gonna rank everything a 1, so I don't even know how I ask you.
Say a 3.
Andrew, you says 3.
I'll give it a solid 4.
So 3. That's 8 divided by.
I got all the numbers. Just don't.
What's the division?
What'd you score it as?
I know what the answers are.
It's,
So I
it's
can't
266.
266. So we have a 2.6, and then the last one. Is everybody done with their
Hold on,
third?
hold on.
This is so painful.
I should have saved carbs for this.
Hey Rob,
Net carbs are fucked up.
number 3 wasn't solid gold, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, our next marketing campaign is going to be our vodka is keto friendly. We're going to try and get to it before Tito's does.
Really?
I think it'd be hilarious.
I mean,
Is there somebody in your company that has the last name of beverage or liquid or something watery? Because Tito Beverage is almost too cool of a name for
Yeah.
a beverage company. So we do have cup number 4.
well, the guy's first name's Rusted and his last name's Crow. So, you know.
Is that like Russell Crowe, but like less
Rusted.
of a gladiator?
Now I'll never look at Rusted Crow again. I hate you so much.
See, I would look at it more as in, Brandon Lee's the Crow.
No.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm going with that
What
one.
about Russell Brand? What do you? Okay, so
Russell Wilson?
you just took one. You just took a sip, Rob. Is this any more or less dish soapy?
I think we're going backwards here.
It's less dish soapy,
This is like Irish.
but it's nothing.
Is it better better, worse, or equal to the other 3 that you've had?
Do you want to re-rank number 3 now that you know it's not Founders Solid Gold?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Definitely higher IBUs.
Yeah, I'm not getting too bitter, but it's not as crushable as 3.
It's like as if I was making tea and somebody just put some water in front of me.
So beer tea.
And just took a bag full of all the molten grain and just steeped it in there
So
for
kombucha.
for like 2 minutes and said, "All right, here you go."
Beer bucha.
Yeah, beer booch. And
So are you hard on a 1? Not even a 1.1, 1.2?
no,
Just hard 1.
no, fucking one.
All right, Andrew, back to you. Is this better or worse than the last beer that you had relative to everything else?
Definitely, I think worse than the last one.
Okay.
I'd put it at a 1.
Wow. 10.
So put that as a 1 there. I'm going with a 3. I think this is not too bad.
So a 5 divided by 3 is 1.2 something, I think.
1.66. This is why you said you weren't a numbers guy.
Well, hold on. So number 1 and number 3 or 1 and 4 are getting the same results. Are you
Yeah,
getting
one
the same-
one and 4 are getting the same results. So number 3 is the winner, number 2 is second, and then tied for third is 1 and 4.
So I'm going to reveal from worst to first.
So worst is 4 and 1.
So number 4 was the solid gold,
Yeah.
which you cursed me for not giving you solid gold, but I apologize. I will tithe to the community if I have to.
All right, this is bad. This is bad.
Number 1 was Shorts Local Light.
Oh,
Sorry, Angela.
I was that beer was just not. And that there's no like mistake. That was the first one we tried. It just did not.
There's no canning date on it. I don't see. So
I mean,
this
it's
is the only one
still,
without a
I mean,
canning
if you're
date?
buying it from Ashley, it's not going to be too overdated. He doesn't carry overdated beers.
So I'm going to go ahead and give you beer number 2.
Number 2
well,
was
obviously
second place.
is Bell's Local Lager. It has to be, right? Because the only other beer is the mystery beer. So Bell's Local lager was a 2.2.
So beer number 3, the one that Andrew rated a 3, I rated a 4, and Rob rated a 1 and said, "Damn it, this is Founder's Solid Gold. I hate you."
Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna before it's funny.
basically all of them, just with a capital U, are terrible.
So I'm gonna do this. We've had this beer as a mystery beer. We've all drank this beer. I'm gonna give all of you one choice to guess what the beer is because you've not seen this beer. So I'm gonna start with Rob again. What beer is under the brown bag? That's the macro lager that you and your collective voted number 1. Better than all the,
I
Michigan
didn't
craft.
vote at number 1. I voted at 1.
It was tied for
Hey,
first
You're part of a collective.
in your group, Rob. It was tied for first.
Probably a goddamn natty daddy.
Andrew, what beer do you think is under the brown bag?
Say, I wish I could drink it again.
I mean, it's a goddamn stovetop can. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Or is it?
Is it a can?
It could be.
gotta be a can.
Can we get a little?
We're going.
Yeah, it's a can.
It's a can.
Is
That's
it
tall can.
Miller.
Okay, but there's an MGD, there's a High Life, there's a Miller Lite. You got to come more correct than that.
All right, we'll do High Life.
Miller High Life. It really tastes like High Life. Do you want another flavor?
I think this is GD.
MGD.
Yeah.
Do we have music that we can play for
No,
the
we
reveal?
don't. I can play Rob's news music if you want me to.
Do not. That's not necessary.
Dun, 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 dun. Natural Light.
You guys also
Wow.
selected a 30 pack. For the same price of solid gold, you can buy double the amount of beer and call it called Natural Light. And it's apparently better, according to Better on Draft.
I will keep all of my loggers to Wolverine. Thank you very much.
I don't know if you'd like Wolverine at this point.
I kind of almost want to buy Natural Light now. Is there more in that can?
Yeah,
I'll take a little more. Why not?
it's good beer.
Do you want to try it again just to see if you
Yeah.
get the?
It's here.
Bring back the college.
It was like $12.99 a 30.
Was this the
pack.
one you said this was the beer pong beer, or was that beer
Yeah,
number?
no, he definitely said it.
Nailed it.
It's $12.99 for a 30 pack. How is this? I tried to get a Hams because I figured that would be more in line with the flavors that we were going to be consuming, but I couldn't find a single Hams.
I would have rather
Can.
you given me an entire can of Four Loko than all of those.
Do not say that to him because you know damn well next week.
Good.
You're looking to take that check that I just got today and just bought a keg of Four Loko. I mean, like I would buy a giant terranium with a spigot out of it. Like the only way to get out of your house is
Yeah.
to like
Beer pong.
suck some
I was
Four
gonna
Loko
say
out
I
of
don't
it.
hate it at all.
This is
You
beer
love
pong.
this, don't you?
Okay, so
Hold on, no, continue. Go ahead.
let's talk beer pong real quick because it's a funny because everyone
Call
has
it beer pong or Beirut?
beer pong.
Okay, 10 or 6 cups.
10.
10 if you're playing twos.
How
6
many
if you're
people are
trying to
waiting?
yeah.
If you're gonna try to
6
circle
if you're
through,
trying
you're
to
doing
No,
if you have
I
a
think
long line.
Have you ever played King Pong? Where there's 10 on 6 or 10, 6, 3, and 1. It's
So
like,
I haven't played
Damn.
King Pong, but I have
It's like 3 games.
played.
Like beer
I have
Jenga.
played beer pong where it went rows 1 to 15 at Nick's frat house. So there was. I think we played 5 on 5.
did he stand on phone books when he played beer pong there?
The table was low.
So it was like an unran game?
So when I used to host, I bought a piece of 4x8 plywood, put it on my parents' or the pool table in the basement, and we played beer pong. And we would play beer pong with some of the most high ABV beers you can find. Final Absolution would be in there. Plead the Fifth would be in there. Any beer that I would pick up at merchants, like it was just fair game in my fridge. Like if you came over, people would always bring beer for me and then drink my beer because they suck. Because they would bring me over Guinness, but then drink. Mind you, this is 2008, 2009. They're bringing over Guinness, and then they're taking Dark Horse. They're taking Dragon Mead. They're taking Coonan. They're taking all these nice bottles. So sure, they're giving me okay beers, but they're taking my good
It's a
stuff.
trade down
It's
for
not
you.
an equivalent exchange.
No, not at all. But I didn't care. I was having friends over. We were having fun. So we would always play beer pong at
Ken's house.
at my parents' house. And I don't remember when it was, but I remember it popping up. It was either on MySpace or Facebook. And
It would have been Facebook.
I mean, 2009. That's near
MySpace
the
was
end of
dead by then.
MySpace.
No, 05 was the end of MySpace.
I don't know about that. That
As
was
soon as Facebook started, Facebook, MySpace.
Oh, 05,
You know what? If
Facebook
you
was
went away
not
to
public.
college,
Yeah.
Facebook was
MySpace was more popular than Facebook when it first came out.
Oh, yeah.
Tom was everyone's friend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's like an Instagram photographer now. That's what he does. Is he's just a photographer with all the money he made selling it for such
He's
a
like
stupid
Frankie
price.
Am I wrong?
I don't think you are.
No.
Well, that's the first time you've said that. You've agreed to me.
I remember seeing like the huge herpes epidemic from
me?
beer pong because everyone was using the same cups, drinking out of the same beers, and sharing cups. So then it turned into everyone would start just filling the cups with water.
Water pong. Yep.
Yeah, and then just drinking as you came. But I still went, and I don't remember what year it was, but I went with Dan to Vegas, and we went to a bar called Blondie's at Planet Hollywood, and they had beer pong tournaments there.
They still have a couple
And
bars in Vegas
I know
do it.
Winter Garden does it over in Livonia.
Yeah.
There's still a few,
Bailey's in Troy, I think, might still do it.
there's still a few places that do these beer pong tournaments, but I remember going there, and this was like what World Series of beer pong was huge.
Yeah.
They made a road trip
It's on the Ocho.
sequel to beer pong.
Like it was like a Madden. Like you get on the beer pong bus and you go to the next city. And
Yeah, kind
play
of.
whole round,
I'm not gonna lie,
The one
I mean,
kind
it's
of.
like-
just to keep it warm.
It was like playing cornhole on ESPN 2.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Dick Cornhole?
No.
It's where you put your legs under the cornhole board to where your private parts are
Oh, no.
right under the cornhole thing. So if you get it right on, it
So
like
beanbag right in the beanbag.
Yeah, exactly.
You're hoping it slides up and doesn't get like that full on drop right in the
Yeah.
hole. Well, we talked about beer games earlier, but what else did you guys play when we were younger? 'Cause
So-
beer pong, waterfall.
At Central, we actually had a beer Olympics. We had a 10 event day. We had a volume chug. Like everyone got a pitcher of beer, and I think it was like 8 or 10 teams, and there was 4 people to a team. So the first, volume chug was you get a pitcher of beer, and the first team to finish it wins. We had canoe races.
Team?
Yeah.
So each person on the team got a pitcher.
No.
And it-
So what happened was
You
there would be a
passed the
pitcher
pitcher?
on the pitcher. There was like 4 people like left to right.
Right.
I would drink as much as I could, and I would pass it to the next person. Would pass it to the next person. Pass it to the next person.
Okay, but it sounds like so it couldn't be passed back though.
It could be. It was a team thing. Like
I feel like
if
that kind of
if
takes
number
away the
4
whole strategic dynamic of the
I
whole
would just
thing.
drink the whole thing
Yeah, if
myself.
you're the anchor, you're going
But,
to drink
but if
everything.
you
Yeah,
get like
that's
4,
what I'm
like
thinking.
if you get the bubble, you can pass it. So there was a canoe relay.
So is it like the boot? You got to like turn it?
kind of canoe relay.
I love that movie.
So canoe relay was you had to drink beer out of a ice cube tray with a tiny straw. So you'd be cut.
I think that's probably where I would be, just because in my younger years I had such a high tolerance.
So you would get an ice cube tray full of beer and like the sipping part of a straw, not the whole bendy part, and you would literally suck all of the ice cube out of the beer out of the ice
So
cube
from left to right to left to right.
or you would go up and down, up and down.
That should be a team event.
There was
pitcher
there was an
shouldn't.
obstacle course. There was a beer pong and a flip cup. There was obviously a keg stand. But I'm happy to say my team won the silver medal in said event.
I feel like this is something that we should actually create. Is that we should create a beer Olympic?
I've tried.
decathlon.
I've sent text messages. I have property up north. We'll all go up to Gaylord. We will do these beer Olympics.
I don't think we need to go up north. That's not necessary.
It could be. It's not
could-
Howell.
We don't have to go past 14 Mile. That's
It's-
not
it's
I was gonna say
Howell.
we
It's not
can
Howell.
we
We
can
can
do
go-
it over in Lafayette Park. I have a giant park behind my house.
But I can't like have open intox
The
without.
Quinder Cut right there. I mean, people are camping out there right now.
Oh yeah,
there's,
that's
like,
right. Because
fucking
tomorrow's
it's everything
the
there.
24-hour party or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
But like, there's so many beer games that are just fun to just do. Like,
Now, when you were Flip Cup, when you played, did you have an anchor that had a giant volume to drink, or was
no,
it just
everyone had the shot of beer?
okay?
You had to like fill it up basically to the line.
Yeah, to the
Yeah,
line.
to the lines. Like for me, I always loved the games that involved like volume chug, or when we were playing Flip Cup, I would always be the anchor if it was a volume chug at the end.
We also had a Dixie Cup relay or Dixie Cup. Yeah, so I would have to drink 10 Dixie Cups of beer, and then once I was done, then the next guy would So there was like 5 team events and 5 single events. Actually, it was 4 and 4. That way, each person had their own single event, and then you would have appropriate.
See, I would make that shit. Just
I mean,
punishing.
you're our age. Did you go to college anywhere?
Yeah,
Local?
Eastern.
Eastern?
Oh
Yeah.
fuck that! He didn't go to college.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
That's not
Central.
real school. Like
what
Like
everyone
yours
says.
was.
Hey,
Yeah.
EAGLES Eagles.
Hurons, bitch.
Yeah. Fuck your chips. Rode a boat.
That's Western.
You're damn
I was
right.
gonna say, we got this giant Mac train right here.
Harvey Hall for life, motherfucker.
You know, there's so many what about like a normal game that you just turn into a drinking game? Like for instance,
Like euchre or
well,
you know,
Yes.
euchre or like if you go to Northsider Brewing over in Northville, Michigan,
There it is.
just south of Baseline Road over on.
Shuffleboard.
Yeah, play shuffleboard over there. You could turn shuffleboard into a
You
drinking
know, we
game.
could,
Yeah.
I have a backyard. We could all come to my house and we could do like
Uno
a
is a
backyard game.
drinking game.
Uno. How do you
Lord.
play an Uno
I
drinking
mean,
game?
anytime that
Anytime you
wasn't
get
a
a skip- yeah, you-
skip, a draw like 4 is drink 4. I mean,
Whoever gets skipped has to drink.
anything that was not a number
Draw
card.
4, drink 4
you know.
beers?
Yeah, reverse, you're drinking.
Oh my god.
Learned a lot of Eastern. I mean,
Yeah, well, we've played so many games that have turned into drinking games, or I just
Drunken Mario Kart. I love that. Drinking and driving. Like
drinking and driving.
You can't drive.
You can't drive
while
until
you're
you slam.
drinking.
Well,
no, you
can't.
can. You can drink and you can drive, and you can drink, but you can do them at the same time. So you can either play the race and then drink, or you can drink and then play the race, or you can drive, stop, drink, and then continue. That's still there's still a massive debate whether you should drink first and then drive, or drive first and then drink.
Well,
Massive
if you
debates.
drink first and then drive, then you're always last, and therefore you get the lightning
The
and
blue
the blue
shells.
shells and
yeah,
stuff.
the bullet bill where
The-
you just zoom past everybody.
Yeah,
But
you're.
if you stop at the finish line and you can chug a beer fast enough, I mean, typically those laps are like 30 to 45 seconds. So if you can drink a beer,
Unless you're on Star Road,
no, it's
Rainbow
always.
Road.
Yep.
I think it's always Koopa Troopa Beach.
Right there.
It should only be Koopa Troopa Beach on that game.
So I have to admit, and this is going to be the weirdest thing you'll ever hear, just because it's me. So mind you, I've been a pro gamer. I've played in tournaments. I've been sponsored. I've been in leagues. I have made money playing professional games, and I have never, ever won a set of Mario Kart. So when you play like the 150cc 4-map race or whatever, I've never won a set.
Are we taking him to?
The computer beats you every time. Or?
Are
No,
we taking
so-
him to Ready Player One tonight?
No, so I used to play back when I worked at Laser Quest.
at it, no.
We'd close at midnight. We'd be done. Like we'd all go there to close with whoever's closing that night, just so that we'd get in and out in like 10 minutes. And at that point, then we go to my friend Dennis's house and we would play Mario Kart, and I could never win. And it was funny, sad, and then funny again, because I just could never. It got to the point where I think they were fucking with me, just because they would let me win a race or two, and I'm like, oh my god, I could do it, and then just like no.
Yeah.
There's
false
this thing called mini turbos that very 5% of the Mario Kart population knows about mini turbos. Like everybody thinks they're the greatest at Mario
Talking
Kart.
about the drifting.
The drifting, and you get the hey, it's me, and
Yeah.
you get the mini turbos. So few people know about the drifting turbos or the mini turbos that when you play, like we went to Ready Player One. There's only one person I've ever lost Mario Kart against. It's my friend Joe, and I've never seen another human being beat this guy. He literally lives, breathes, die Mario Kart. Like he could beat Mario himself.
It's
Like if it was him versus Andretti, I would pick him.
They were one of my college suite mates. He was amazing at GoldenEye. You
Yeah.
put him on remote mines, he would throw the mine in your face, blow you up, like instantly kill. Like he was untouchable somehow.
Like when I went to Central my freshman year, we that was like NBA 2K4, 2K5. We did a fantasy draft for it was a Xbox, the original.
Yeah.
We all did a fantasy draft for the team, and we would have a rotation game and I would have Yao Ming. And literally, Yao Ming at the free throw line, like it was a play, like Yao Ming, you throw it to him, and he just dunked it. Like I had Yao Ming and Dirk, and they never missed within 3 feet.
No,
And
it's like Randy Moss. He just catches everything. You
Right.
just chuck it up.
That's like I used to play Madden 97 and just play streaks to Herman Moore every throw.
Oh my
Actually,
God.
Madden 02, Aaron Brooks to Joe Horn every fucking time.
Joe Horn. Think about Joe Horn.
Hey, I got the phone call.
Right.
All right, that's going to do it for Better on Draft. Andrew, what's up?
We didn't finish the last cocktail. We didn't finish the last spirit.
Oh, we didn't get through the vodka, did we?
Yeah.
We had 2 of the 3 gins. Where's
No,
the
there
third
was 2
gin?
gins.
There's 2 gins. We had the vodka. You want to try the vodka before we go?
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Might as well.
All right, we're
we do a
going
little,
to kind of like
We're gonna drink that off.
slowly sign off as he pours some vodka for everyone. What is this vodka called?
This vodka is Detroit Steam vodka. So this is 100% corn.
Am I going to taste cornflakes here?
Nope. This
Just a
is,
splash. Just a splash.
Odorless, tasteless, as close to water as I could get it.
Odorless. Why would you make a tasteless vodka?
Because
It'll get you drunk.
Unlike all the other vodkas that are, flavors and, everything, vodka should be odorless and tasteless. It should just be
All I
alcoholic
smell
water.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
All I smell is alcohol, yeah.
smells like I'm spraying the bed sheets for bed bugs.
So this is distilled 12 times, charcoal filtered.
I could tell. I don't
You need to
taste
work on your
shit.
liquor, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't do liquor because it gets me in trouble.
No.
I text people I shouldn't text.
then we go from liquor to beer to liquor. So
All right, so Rusted Crow, the restaurant is over by Cliff Bell's in District Detroit. And then the distillery tasting room is in Dearborn where?
Telegraph, just north of Ford Road.
Drive by slowly, because when
Is
you
it Garden
pass by
City,
Papa
Teddy?
Romano's, slow down because you can miss it.
I didn't even know
Exactly.
Papa Romano still exists.
Isn't
Yes.
there like a mini golf course right there too?
No.
Nope. Mr.
No.
Chicken is 2 doors down.
Yep.
King Cone, isn't that right by there?
No.
I'm thinking like Ford and maybe Beach.
No, because
Area.
basically, like right at
Merriman. Thinking of
Yeah,
Mormon.
you're thinking,
I'm
yeah,
way too
yeah.
far
Because at
away.
the corner, you got
You're
the
thinking
strip mall.
Westland.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
the strip mall with Papa Romano's,
So
GFS.
It's the worst place in America.
Yeah, but once you are on Telegraph and you see Papa Romano, slow down because you can miss this place. It is on the right when you're going northbound on Telegraph.
Hey, Andrew, did you know we're on Spotify?
I did not.
Now you do. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes. We're on everywhere you can get podcasts. Please leave us reviews. It helps us promote, helps us get out there, as well as helps us give out more things. The
Like
thing we are
t-shirts.beer.
like t-shirts.beer. Yeah, t-shirts.beer. One of our great. They make the Michigan Beer Box shirts.
My Beer Box shirts.
My Beer Box. Yes. They make plenty of great stuff over there. It doesn't matter if you're a brewery or a beer store or anything like that.
Or family reunion.
I was gonna say they are a screen printer. That's the right term. They screen print. They give you everything that you need, from koozies to shirts to hoodies. That hoodie is really nice. The little zip up that they got me from from the Expo of Beer. Did you get a zip up hoodie? I got a zip up hoodie.
It wasn't my size. I would have swam in it.
Oh, probably, yeah. It would have been like a zip up tarp for you.
I could have camped. Yeah.
You could have.
You left me alone in the fucking. I had to listen to Old Town Road like 15 times in like 6 hours.
I had shit to do too.
It was Old Town Road every other song.
And every time I had a break, I came over to relieve you so you could relieve yourself.
I almost put an old time bullet in my face after. Like, hey, I don't know if you guys saw in Bruise Brothers. I had a thread of what was going on. It was Old Town Road again.
Yes.
It was.
And just so you know, if you decide to look up the Rambo Last Blood trailer, it's in the trailer, so don't watch the trailer.
Did you? Okay, so Old Town Road.
At least you didn't have karaoke this year like they've had before.
Lil Nas X, he went to a elementary school
Yes, I saw it.
and he showed up and the kids sang his song. Like, he did no words, and you have little white kids dancing and screaming around like he's the goddamn Wiggles, saying, "I'm gonna take my."
Basically, he just pulled a CeeLo at Lollapalooza.
And how dare a man call himself Nas X?
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X. You know, 2 differences, not the regular Nas.
But how dare you even like? I'll be Little Dre.
Okay, Gnarls Barkley, Flynn Eastwood,
Hey,
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
That's
Jr.
terrible.
Should I fucking continue?
well, Charles Barkley doesn't have a ring.
Is there a 3-Pac or a 2-2-Pac?
Not yet.
No,
Not
but,
yet. Give it 20 years.
Yeah.
Baffin has a Tupac shaker, Bach. So 2 box.
All right, before we go any more off, Andrew, thank you so much for coming. We
Thanks for having
appreciate you. All this liquor is amazing. You can get it obviously in plenty of liquor stores, as well as going to the restaurant and the distillery. That's going to do it for us here at Better on Draft. And even though Nick butchered my ending during the end, they did a little thing. 179.5. You can hear Nick and Ed finish the show. But it's no matter what you think of your beer, we think it's Better on Draft.
Better on Draft.
Have a good night.
Draft on Better.
Peace.